is equals to mass of air displaced by balloon. Mass of gas, that's minus mass of balloon minus mass of gas present in balloon. This is the relation between this. And a question based on this for better understanding is, a balloon weighing 50 kg it filled with 685 kg of helium at 1 atmosphere and 25 degrees Celsius. What will be its payload if we displace 5108 kg of air? Simply payload equals to 5108 mass of air displaced by balloon 5108 minus mass of balloon, that's 685 kg, minus mass of gas present in balloon, that's 50. Simply solving this gives 473. That's answer. This is up to pay. This is another topic called kinetic energy. We know kinetic energy equals to 3 by 2 nRT for n moles, and we know the relation PV equals to 1 by 3 mnc square. Average kinetic energy equals to 3 by 2 RT, 3 by 2 kT for one molecule if it is one molecule, because K is the R by N is the Avogadro number. It becomes 3 by 2 kT. Here the K is the Boltzmann constant. K equals 1.38 into 10 power minus 16 Kelvin inverse molecule inverse, or K equals to 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. You should remember or by heart these two values. It will be time saving for us. And this is an important relation. Average kinetic energy depends on temperature. This is the important. Next, coming to velocities. First one is the RMS velocity. RMS velocity equals to under root c1 square plus c2 square plus c. This simply we can make it as RMS velocity sum of squares of the gases divided by n under root, means we can make it as root over 3 RT by m or 3 PV by m or 3 P by d. You should remember these three terms and relation between different gases, and you should remember this for better saving timing. Mostly they will ask as RMS velocity itself. In terms here the units are changed. Mostly it will be in meters per second, but here it's centimeters per second. That's 1.58 into 10 power 4 root over T by m. This is the RMS velocity in centimeters per second. Next one is the average velocity. It's C1 average of different gas velocities. U average is 8 RT by pi m, 8 PV by pi m, 8 P by pi d. Remember these three terms, and it's 0.9213 times of RMS velocity. These two are used. This is used when they are asked to find average velocity by giving RMS velocity. If you do not remember this, you should make it. You should substitute it here, and you should find the RT by m relation. Again, substituting here 8 by pi into RT by m relation and making it solve, and you will get average pressure. But it becomes a lengthy process. If you remember just this, you can find it easily. Coming to most probable velocity, velocity possessed by most of the gas molecules. Here, some of the logic questions may be asked. They will given many values of velocity, and they will ask most probable velocity. If we do not know this definition, then we may find it difficult and we get confused to solve this. It's simply the values that are most common is the most probable velocity. Simply in mathematics we find it as mode. Simply using that. UMP, that's equals to 2 RT by m, 2 PV by m, 2 P by d. This is also 0.8166 times URMS velocity. Simply like finding most probable velocity using by giving RMS velocity. Here is another question for you. First question is the RMS velocity of two gases at the same temperature are U1 and U2. Their masses are M1 and M2 respectively. Find the expression for condition. Simply using the relation U equals to root over 3 RT by m, because they have asked between the two terms U and M. Then 3 is a constant, R is a constant, and same temperature they have given. Then it becomes also constant. This term becomes constant. We can write U is directly proportional to 1 by root m relation from this. And based on this, U square becomes, for two gases, U square is directly proportional to M2 by M1, because this is inverse here. Then U1 by U2 whole square equals to M2 by M1. Then it becomes M1 U1 square equals to M2 U2 square by rearranging this, and it becomes here like this. And the next question is, at the same temperature, carbon monoxide molecule have the same most probable velocity as the molecules, means like the molecules. Here you should relate it. It's a simply theory question using formula. Most probable velocity. We know the formula, root over 2RT by m. 2RT by m. They have given same temperature. R is same, 2 is the same. It's simply inversely proportional to m. Means here CO has the molecular weight similar to which gas? Then it becomes same. Carbon we have 6 plus oxygen we have 8. Then it's 14. Simply nitrogen gas. The answer is nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas have a similar most probable velocity like carbon monoxide. Coming to next important topic, a theory questions may be asked here. Most molecular distribution velocities. Here we have two graphs that are to be understood. Here we have fraction and x-axis velocity. If you draw graphs, this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. Here it is represented as T1, this is T2, this is T3, this is T2. And if you ask relation for this, then it's T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. This is the relation for the first distribution curve. Erasing this, let us discuss another graph that's based on same molecular distribution velocities. Here is the fraction, here is the velocity. This is based on molecular weights. First one for the M1, M2, M3, M3, M2, M1. If you find relation for this, we get M1 is greater than M2 is greater than M3. This is the two types of molecular distribution curves that you should remember. Here simply I have written as examples. Examples of dipole-dipole forces is HCl. And if you write another HCl, then we get dipole interaction between Cl and Cl and H and H. So it's dipole-dipole forces. Example of London dispersion forces, benzene, C6H6. Examples of dipole-induced dipole forces, that is HF and Br2 bromine molecule, HCl and helium molecule. You should remember these examples directly. They may ask. It becomes easier for you without losing marks. And this is another important statement or important line. That's intermolecular interaction. That's depending upon inverse cube of distance between stationary molecules is in dipole-dipole interaction. Here remember this line. Mostly they will ask in which interaction. That's dipole-dipole interaction. And another is inverse cube of distance. These two terms are important in this line. Please make a note. I am going to arrange the lines that it will be clearly for you. And this is this. Coming to another term, real gases. Extent of deviation of real gas from ideal gas behavior explained in terms of compressibility factor, that is represented by Z. That is represented by Z. Here writing the formula Z equals to PVM by nRT. Here Vm is nothing but volume of the real gas. PV by nRT just. Vm means volume of the real gas by Vi means volume of the ideal gas. Means Vm by Vi or Z equals to PV by nRT. And the next point is ideal gas. At Z, ideal gas have compressibility factor equals to 1 and the real volume equals to 22.4 liter. And for non-ideal gas, it is not equals to 1 and not equals to 22.4. And ideal non-ideal gas have two different lines, two different cases, that if Z is greater than 1 and Vm is greater than 22.4, means the compressibility factor is greater than 1 and the real volume is greater than 22.4, then it undergoes positive deviation. This is important, that it undergoes positive deviation. It undergoes positive deviation, and it have less compressibility due to more repulsive forces. See, if you assume a balloon, if the repulsive forces are more, means the pressure exerted by the gas molecules on the surface, if you try to compress it, it will be compressible to a small extent, but not to great extent. It compresses to only a small extent. Then coming to another case, that's here we find Z is less than 1, means compressibility factor is less than 1 and real volume is less than 22.4. Then it undergoes negative deviation and it goes more compressibility due to more attractive forces. Here you will find the difference. Here it's repulsive force and here is attractive force. Make a note of that. Here is another subtopic, that is van der Waals equation. After PV corrections, van der Waals equation is given as P plus an square by V square into V minus NB is equals to nRT. Here A comma B are the van der Waals constant. Here A means van der Waals constant A indicates extent of force of attraction between gas molecules. Underline this, extent of force of attraction between gas molecules. Here is another important line, that as A value increases, easily the gas can be liquefied. This is the important line you should remember. As A value increases, easily the gas can be liquefied. Easily the gas can be liquefied. Should remember this. As A value increases, gas easily can be liquefied. Based on this line or statement, we find many questions in the NEET previous examinations. Coming to next, as here B indicates excluded volume or co-volume, means the volume that is not present, that is not occupied by molecules. Here is also, this is also important. B value increases, then the gas is less compressible. B value is increased. If the B value is increased, then the gas is less compressed. Based on these two lines, we find many previous years questions. Here the units for the A is atmosphere liter square mole inverse, and for B liter mole inverse. This is the atmosphere and liter is the difference between the units of A and B. If they ask you to find excluded volume or co-volume, then we use the formula B equals to 4NV. This is for 1 mole. For 1 mole, and B equals to 4B. This is for 1 molecule. For 1 molecule and for 1 mole. Make a difference of this. And this is another important question. You should remember this. At low pressure, B is neglected. At low pressure, B is neglected. Then the compressibility factor Z becomes 1 minus A by RTV. If you remember this directly, then it saves and it gives perfect 4 marks and you will get it correct. This is the first. And another is at high pressure, A is neglected. At high pressure, A is neglected. Then the Z becomes 1 plus PB by RT. 1 plus PB by RT. For better understanding here, at low pressure B is neglected. Simply remember BPL. BPL. Here BPL. Like or simply like IPL, it will be remembered in our brain as BPL. At low pressure, B is neglected. Here there is no, you should just remember it as HAP. H-A-P, happy. Like at high pressure, A is neglected. Using this, remember these 2 points. Either based on these 2 points there will be a previous question, or based on these two there will be a previous question. You should mostly remember. Here is another statement. At very low pressure, Gases behave ideally. At low pressure, they show negative deviation. They show negative deviation except hydrogen and helium. They show negative deviation except hydrogen and helium. This is important. You should remember the exceptions. Mostly exceptions will be asked in final exam. At high pressure, they show positive deviation. They show positive deviation. At high temperature and low pressure, both A and B are neglected. Then PV equals to RT and Z equals to 1. This is the condition for the real gas to behave as ideally. At high temperature, at high temperature and low pressure, real gas behave as ideal. And there will be this is a one question related to compressibility factor. That's the compressibility factor for 1 mole of van der Waals gas at 0 degrees Celsius and 100 atmosphere pressure is found to be 0.5. Assuming that volume of gas molecules is negligible, the van der Waals constant A value is, simply find Z, use the relation B equals to PV by RT. We should use PV by nRT as they have given 1 mole, just we are using PV by RT. Then they have given compressibility factor as 0.5. 0.5 is equals to pressure is 100 atmosphere and the volume we need to find by 22.4, as the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius and R is, we should, by using these two terms we will get as 22.4. Then V equals to, solving this, and we will get it as 0.112 liter. Finally, the volume we get is 0.112 liter. By using ideal gas equation, as they have given here, we need to find A. Then we need not to include B. Then P plus A by V square, as N is 1, P plus A by N square, it becomes P by A square. V minus 1 into B, as they have given here. Volume of gas is negligible, so we are not taking it as, we are not including B, just by V equals to RT. 100 plus A by 0.112, as we got here volume 0.112 liter whole square equals to into 0.112 equals to 22.4. Solving this, we get A value as 1.2544. We are seeing it as A value is 1.2544 and the units is atmosphere liter square mole inverse. This is a problem related how they ask by intermixing van der Waals equation and compressibility factor. This is the model. Remember, here are the important terms. That's critical temperature represented by Tc. Critical temperature is temperature above which a gas cannot be liquid by applying any pressure, any number of, how much the pressure will be. The gas will not be liquid above a certain temperature. That temperature is called critical temperature. Critical temperature has a equation Tc equals to 8A by 27 Rb. You should by heart this all critical pressure equation, critical volume equation, and the compressibility factor are the critical constants. You should remember this all for quick revision and quick getting marks and saving time in final exam. Time saving and time management is the major factor in the final exam. Coming to critical pressure, represented as PC, pressure needed for us to make a gas to liquefy at critical temperature. This is called critical pressure, represented PC equals to A by 27B square. Remember this formula too. Coming to critical volume VC, volume occupied by 1 mole of gas at critical temperature and critical pressure. At critical temperature and critical volume, volume occupied by 1 mole, critical volume occupied by 1 mole of gas. It is represented VC equals to 3B. Remember this too. Then coming to compressibility factor in terms of critical constants means PC VC by R into TC. Then we get it as 3 by 8. Remember this ratio. It may be a direct question asked in final exam. Already asked in one of the previous year's questions also. Then this is the important line you should remember. This may be a direct question too, and based on graph given in NCERT textbook. critical temperature of carbon dioxide is 30.97 degree Celsius. That's 30.98 degree Celsius. Remember this only, not the other values. It's different in different edition textbooks. Remember this. This is the universal and finally given in Google. So coming, this is the out of NCERT and most important and many times asked in previous year's exam. That's the Joule-Thomson effect. This will be discussed in physics too. Out in chemistry aspect, it's an adiabatic expression of gas from high pressure region to low pressure region through small hole is called Joule-Thomson effect. Temperature at which gases are subjected to Joule-Thomson effect, neither heating nor cooling is observed, is called inversion temperature. Inversion temperature. That's called as inversion temperature, represented as T to the subscript I. Above inversion temperature, heating is observed, and below inversion temperature, cooling is observed. At the exact inversion temperature, not heating, not cooling, we will observe. That's the definition of this. If gases are subjected to Joule-Thomson effect at room temperature, then hydrogen, helium are heated and remaining all gases are cooled. Major reason behind this is the inversion temperature of hydrogen and helium are less than the room temperature. This is the reason behind this exception and deviation of hydrogen and helium in Joule-Thomson effect. While coming to expression for inversion temperature, that's inversion temperature is equals to 2A by RB. That's 2A by RB. Remember this. And there is a relation. Till now we have seen temperature, different temperatures. That's inversion temperature, boiling temperature, critical temperature. Relation between these three is inversion temperature is greater than boiling temperature is greater than critical temperature. We have given this relation based on values or experimentally, and this is important. You should remember a direct line. Boiling point of liquid is equals to 2 by 3 times of RC. 2 by 3 times of RC. Here it is 2 by 3 times of critical temperature TC. This is a relation of boiling point of liquid and critical temperature. These are the numericals that may be given in final NEET exam. Maybe same models, they may change numericals. That's it. For gases, ammonia, carbon dioxide, C2H6 means acetylene, C2H4, ethane and acetylene. The B values are 0.036, 0.042, 0.0638, 0.0577 decimeter cube per mole. They have given B values for each gas. Which of the following are less compressible in nature? Like this same they will ask in final exam also. They will give option A as NH, option B CO2, option C C2H6, option D C2H4, and we should pick up one option. This is the most securing and less time taking type of questions in final exam. You should attempt first these types of questions only in final exam. Here we know the relation. As B value increases, then the compressibility decreases. Using this single line, as B increases, as the B value increases, compressibility decreases. Just using these 4 words, we are going to get 4 marks in final exam if you remember this. So finally, as the B increases, compressibility decreases. So highest value of B have less compressibility, then its C2H6 is the correct answer. The next question, the compressibility factor for 1 mole of a van der Waals gas at 0 degrees Celsius and 100 atmosphere pressure is found to be 0.5. Assuming that volume of gas molecules is negligible, calculate the van der Waals constant A. Simply use the critical constant Z equals to PV by nRT. Then we will get pressure is the 100 and volume V, N is the 1, R is the 0.0821 and T is the temperature 273. Then we will find as 0.102. P plus A by B square into V is equals to RT. Simply solving this, PV plus A by B, A by V is equals to RT. Then we will make here, from this we will get as Z equals to 1 minus A by RT. This is the relation here, 1 minus A by RT. That's it, friends. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and this is the finally, and please subscribe my YouTube channel. And thank you for everyone for making it as 200 subscribers within 3 videos. Thank you, and thank you for everyone. Bye bye. Meet you in the next video.